Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm KeylowK and today we're going to be rating the RUINS Greatsword. This build is created by Moose Torrent. I'll be going over the pros and cons of this build and giving my opinions on it. If you don't know who Moose Torrent is, then I suggest you go check out his channel that should come up on the screen right here. This content creator specializes in creating Elden Ring PvP duels builds. He also does content on other FromSoft games like Dark Souls 3 PvP, Armored Core 6 PvP, and so much more. So if that sounds like your thing, then please go check his channel out, and while you're there, go sub to him or just go watch his content, because every creator does appreciate that. As always, before we jump into the content, I'll give you all a quick overview of how we judge the builds that we rate. Let's get it! We rate builds on three things: the drip, how awesome does the build look; PvE, how much damage this build can produce, and how well does it actually work against enemies and bosses in the game; and last but not least, PvP, how well does this work against other players. Each section gets a score from 1 to 10 and the build gets an overall score of 30. Before we get into the content, I just want to say that I don't have any malicious intent, harm or agenda on these content creators' builds that I rate. I thought this was a really fun idea to bring to life, and I have the utmost respect for all content creators on this platform grinding it every day to create content for us to enjoy. That's enough for this part, let's get into the content. Not gonna lie, this build looks funky in a good way. It's probably the most odd looking build I've seen in the series, but just because I think it looks odd doesn't mean I don't like it. This build has all sorts on which I'm all about. It has the Night Maiden twin crown, giving it a mysterious look. It also has the Nox Greaves, then the Banished Knight's armor, and the Scaled Gauntlets. Paired this with the RUINS Greatsword plus 10, and this is a mismatch. But it turns out that it's actually not that bad looking in my opinion. You find the RUINS Greatsword after you defeat Radahn, return to Redmane Castle Plaza, and you will duo fight a Misbegotten Warrior and a Crucible Knight. Defeat them and the sword is yours. Anyways, the sword looks fire with all the details on it and its odd shape in my opinion. It complements this build looks wise in a very intriguing way. For that, I'm actually going to give this a 7 out of 10 Wardrop. It is an odd looking build, but I like it for some odd reason. Anyways, on to the next one. Let's get it. The starting class for this build is the Prisoner. This is also a strength build. The Ash of War is called the Wave of Destruction. The talismans running on this build are the Bullgoat's Talisman, the Erd Tree's Favor +2, the Green Turtle Talisman, and Great Jar's Arsenal. There are no incantations or physic to this build. Now that's out of the way, let's get into the content. We haven't fought one of these in a while and they're quite tough, so let's give this a go. Sheesh, the damage is not bad at all. Come on, let's see what you got. Sheesh. We have to put the omens in. This is a no-brainer. Let's have a see what we can do, eh? Ash of War. Nice. Oh, we even get a crit. Let's go. That's decent for level 120. We haven't seen this in the series, so we may as well give this guy a go. The charged R2 is not bad. Charged R2s look so dope. Ash of War, come on. Ash of War from a distance. Charged R2 again. Nice. Jump R2. Oh damn, I got hit. Ash of War again. Jump out the way or dodge. Charged R2. Ash of War. Oh damn, I didn't see that. That was crazy. Dodge.
That's a lot of damage!
Whoops. Dodge. I got hit. That's a shame. Almost there, almost there. Come on, let's go, let's go. And charged R2. Some say that this is the hardest fight in Elden Ring, so I wanted to see what this build could do. Not bad damage. Dodge out the way. Come on. Easy. Dodge. No. Ash of War. They can block the entire attack without really getting hurt. Nice. Charged R2. Then R1. Now for the main event. Let's go! Ash of War from a distance. Dodge out the way. Ash of War. Move out the way. I even got a crit. Let's go! He's almost gone. Jump R2. I better watch out, I might die here. I was supposed to charge HP, not FP. Come on, get out of the way. Dodge out of the way, dodge out of the way. Sheesh! Let's go. Nice. Charged R2. And let's go! This build has pretty good damage in my opinion. The Ash of War gets 1k damage and the fully charged R2 gets about 1k damage roughly. Critical hits get decent damage as well with about 2k damage. You tend to break stance enemies a lot with this build. Also, this build can tank hits. For me, the biggest highlight for this build is all the foundations are pretty much met from stamina, HP and physical defense. The status effect defense is decent as well, meaning like the immunity, the robustness, etc. The Ash of War is good in my opinion on this build as well. It can hit from long range and the weapon art just looks awesome in my opinion. The fully charged R2 is badass as well. Now for the cons. The range is a little short for this weapon. What I mean is like the R1, R2 attacks. But the weapon art kinda compensates for that. I think the creator was using the meteorite staff to buff the Ash of War. But from my testings, the staff did not increase the damage to the Ash of War sadly. So that's basically all the cons there. So with all that being said, I'm going to give this a 6.5 out of 10. For a level 120 build, it's actually solid. I was thinking of giving this a 7, but because of the damage, it gets a 6.5. If you want to max out the damage, then put another 30 more points into strength, and you will be at the soft cap of 80. It will also make this build 150. So apart from that, this build is actually really fun, and it's really decent as well. On to the next one. Let's get it. Before we start, I just want to say that this build is actually made for PvP duels, so we will just get straight into the content. I fought this guy before. You can definitely tell which players don't emote and just start running after you. This was basically a pound for pound fight. No skill involved, just bonk. You will see in most of these games that I play, most of the PvPers just for this day was not really emoting. Don't get me wrong, I don't really care. I just thought I'd mention it. I do a charge now too. Yeah, come on. You can't get me. I do my Ash of War and I get caught. What the?
Bruh.
Anyways, GG's. This guy has the meta PvP build. Come on. I do my Ash of War. You can't get me. Dodge. Thought I could get him there, but no. one. I roll. Charged R1. Got it. Let's go. R1. Ash of War. Roll R1. GG's. This guy was not moving, so I decided to give him a warning just to see what would happen. He ended up moving. I do with Ash of War, and he gets hit. I did not know what to do there, so I just jumped R2. Roll R1. Roll R1. And GG's. I faced this guy before and I did lose, not gonna lie, but it was more or less like a cat and mouse game. He was running away and I was trying to chase him because all he wanted to do was dodge and pew-pews. And he also has that cringe weapon. It's just trying to find some openings here. Tried to roll catch him, but couldn't get it. But GG's. We finally got someone that emoted. Let's go. I didn't know what was happening. We're just walking around. It has some range on that sword. What is it? I can't see it right there. He must have thought I was going to do a running attack because he did enjoy it. Anyways, come on, come on, come on, come on. Latency, sorry about that. I'm almost dead. Sheesh. Let's see what we can do here. Poke. Let's go. GG's. I did lose a few times, but this guy was actually really good. It's the reason why I've got him here. Basically every move that I did, he just dodged. It was perfect. He was just keeping away. And everything that I did, he just knew. And this is what you call, in my opinion, a skilled player. I don't think I actually got a hit on him too. But mind you, as you can see, I'm the aggressor here. So yeah, anyways, GG's. The R1, crouch R1, and dodge R1 are your go-to attacks on this build. This build is good for trading attacks because of the pierce damage. It also has really good poise, so it can withstand attack from your opponents. The weapon skill is definitely a good tool to keep your opponents guessing, and it is also best to two-hand this weapon. Now for the cons. If the opponent is up close and you use your Ash of War, they can roll into you and more than likely get a backstab, or try to backstab you because you're stuck in animation. So this was something to mention. The range with your attacks like R1 can be a little short as well. It can be slow as well, but that's the usual thing with colossal weapons. With that being said, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10 for PvP. This build is surprisingly good. In my opinion, it doesn't need much as it is already viable for PvP, but if you wanted to make it just that little bit better without changing the build too much, I'd stick with the meteorite staff and add swift glintstone shard, or I'd change the staff out to a thrusting sword like the rapier or Esther on your offhand and put glintstone phalanx as the Ash of War on it. It's good for defense and offense. It can break stance enemies really well too, so that's a plus. On to the outro. So let's go over the pros and cons that actually matter on this build, so you can make up your own mind whether it is a good fit for you. I think in my opinion, the biggest highlight of this build is that all the foundations on this build are covered. Just hear me out. The vigor is at 60, you have the turtle talisman that restores stamina quickly, you have the bull ghost talisman which raises your poise, and you have the Erdtree's favor +2. At its foundation, it's sound. Granted, you still need skill, but still a solid build. The crouch R1, R1, roll R1, and Ash of War will be your go-to attacks in PvE and PvP. This build has some decent damage, coming out to about 1k for the weapon skill and the charged R2. The only real cons here is the meteorite staff. It's not really needed in my opinion. Then the range on the weapon itself, and not the Asher Ball. It's just a little short. Anyways, let's get to the final score. For drip, I gave this a 7 out of 10. For PvE, I gave this a 6.5 out of 10. And for PvP, I gave this a 7 out of 10. Giving this an overall score of 20.5 out of 10. Would I play this build for PvE again? Hell yeah, I definitely would. There's literally nothing wrong with this build. Would I play this again for PvP? That's definitely a yeah. This build is literally a great build. It only gets the score because of the damage of it, really. It's decent, but it's not like the other builds. That's just my opinion though. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like the content. It tells me that you want more of it. Anyway, I hope everyone has had a wonderful Christmas and a great New Year. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!